Okay, ICT Integration, Lecture 2.3. We're going to be looking at learning platforms, but more specifically, now we're going to look at TPACK. Now, TPACK is based on technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge. Now, Schulman in 1986-87 postulated that content knowledge, which is basically everything you need to know about a subject, and pedagogical knowledge is knowing how to teach it, was actually two overlapping circles, because the way that you teach the content and using a teaching method is actually the pedagogical content knowledge. In other words, for example, if you've got your individual teaching style, then you will teach differently depending on the content. Right? So the way I teach science is going to be different to the way another teacher teaches science, because we have different pedagogical content knowledge. In other words, we have different ways of actually delivering the curriculum. Now, recently, Koehler and Mishra added in the technological knowledge. In other words, the technology you can use to teach as well. Now there are a lot more boxes in here. So technological content knowledge is in here. So the technology you use to deliver the content is very different in each subject. In maths, I may be using a graphics calculator, or I may be using an interactive whiteboard. In English, I may be using DVDs, videos, and so on. In art, I may be using Photoshop. In here, the technological pedagogical knowledge is how you're using technology to teach. So not the contents, the difference to the content. So this may actually be the learning platform that you use, or so on. Now, right at the heart of all this is the technological pedagogical content knowledge. Now, this is where you're using technology and teaching methods to deliver the content. In other words, I might be using Edmodo to deliver my biology class and using my teaching style to teach it. So the way that you do the very middle section is really important. So, for example, different subjects will have very, very different methods of teaching. I said biology, science is quite a lot different compared to maths or English or art. Technology is different in every subject as well. So what works for one subject won't work for another. I may be using my phone in the class to attach to a microscope and then projecting it to the board. I'm never going to use that technology in maths. I may use my phone to do a screen capture of what I'm doing, or explaining how we use algebra, but I'm not going to actually use a microscope to do that as well. In English, I may actually put the students' work on the board and will highlight the mistakes or the things that are fantastic about their work. So technology will be different for every subject. This is also one of the reasons why we're giving you a broad base of ICT integration. So what you're going to need to think about when you're doing all this is all the students who are coming in with that content knowledge, whether you've come in through a teaching degree and you've done your subject knowledge in the teaching degree, or whether you've done a previous bachelor's degree, you're coming in with all this content. We are now teaching you how to use use your pedagogical knowledge to deliver the content. Right? So we're teaching you how to teach. Now, each of your curriculum methodology teachers will be focusing on this stuff, the pedagogical content knowledge. So how to deliver the content, how to teach the content. I'm concerned about using technology to teach. I have less ability to concentrate on the technological content knowledge, because every single one of you is doing different subject. But overall, this is where you're going to be focusing on. Now, there's a link there to tpack.org. If you want to look at read the papers done by Mishra and Koehler, you can look them up. They're really interesting. This graphic is actually designed by them over a period of different papers, and now it's actually the ones that the entire APST is based on, or APST. I always go back to front. Is all based on this. All right, so it doesn't matter whether or not you're using technology in the classroom, or whether you're worrying about 4.5 or 3.4 or 4.3 to deliver technology. Technology should be embedded within everything that you do. It's different forms because it's specific to each subject. Okay, so far this week, this unit, you've covered TPACK, you've covered Edmodo, and you've covered learning platforms. All right, so the discussion board, which we've already spoken about, is about Edmodo. You should have already had your ePortfolio up and running, and now you've got exposure to TPACK. All right, well done.
Bye.